We don't often give the 15-second intro for fight nights, but that's what we have here this weekend as Israel Adesanya is back for the Ultimate Fighting Championship, fighting in Saudi Arabia against Nassourdine Imavov in a very interesting fight in the middleweight division. For Israel Adesanya, what is on the line this weekend? It is a fight to stay relevant if you're Israel Adesanya. He has lost 2 straight fights for the first time since the end of his kickboxing career. He's lost 3 of his last 4, but still has all the attention of a superstar. And I think still has all the talent of a superstar. But he is now facing a must-win, in my opinion. A loss here, and it's over. The dreams of championships again, I think, are done. The dreams of mega fights are done. Honestly, I think a loss here this weekend, depending on how it goes, but a loss here this weekend, and Adesanya is closer to the GFL than he is a championship opportunity. This is like lights on bright, come in clutch. You honestly need a victory here in a gigantic way. He is a big enough name. Relevant is a bit of a overstatement here, probably. Probably going to be used maybe a little bit. I'm not going to say clickbaity because I don't think it's that extent or anything like that. But because he is hip and because he has the resume and he has the charisma and he has all these different things, he's going to be relevant, whatever. But if you want to stay relevant for a championship, if you want to legitimately have these mega fights and have them feel like mega fights instead of you're just the veteran B side, then you need to win this fight. And honestly, it kind of needs to be impressively. Like, we need to have glimpses of the old Israel Adesanya back. And I am not talking about the guy who would just dance around for 5 rounds and not a whole lot is happening because he's playing this chess and then one big boom and oh, look at that, he's still awesome. This needs to be a real dominant performance from Israel Adesanya to get that name back into those conversations. But it will not be easy as he is going up against Nassourdine Imavov, who this is a big step up for him. Not his first, though. He had a big step up early in his career where he took on Sean Strickland. He lost that fight, but since then, it's 3-0 with 1 no contest. And the wins getting more and more impressive each time up. So this is a big opportunity against a big name. And while we are talking about like the struggles of Adesanya and his need to stay relevant, this is still a name that if Imavov gets the win, that people are going to get excited about. And people, okay, this guy's beaten real opponents. This is a legitimate challenger here now at 185 pounds. This is someone who is deserving, I don't think a win here gets him a title shot, but a win here gets him either into an eliminator or gets him into an eliminator, if you know what I mean. So there is a lot on the line for this one. An impressive one, I think, really can rocket him up the rankings in the UFC. It's such an interesting fight for both guys because they both needed to get into title contention with some pretty major questions about both of them coming in. And even if they win, they'll rocket into that conversation, but there's going to be a lot of questions still remaining for the victor. And for the loser, it is back to the drawing board in a big-time way with a lot of difficult questions needing to be asked. Going into the co-main event, Shara Bullet Magomedov is back, and it's been an interesting story. Obviously, he has a unique look, and he has a style that can be very fan-friendly. They haven't put him in any fight that would test him, though. You know, and so, right, it's been cute so far, right? He's gone out, he's done a couple spins, and he's knocked guys out, and he has his personality, and there's this draw to him that everyone is just infatuated by. But now it's a test. Now it's a real test because you're taking on Michael Venom Page. This is a significant step up in competition for him. It is a fight that if he wins it, then all of a sudden, I think we have to start taking this guy at least a little seriously in the middleweight division. For sure, fight anyone who can get a takedown. But he is entering at least into conversations that I previously thought were not going to be reserved for him. I thought he was always just going to be, you put him on one of these cards and have him be a really fun fight to kick things off. He is the WCW Cruiserweight. He's going to go out there and do that. But he's picking up these wins in such emphatic fashion. And now, again, MVP is a real guy. And if you get a win here, we start having to talk about you in ways that I didn't think we were going to with him. And the other part of it too, it's a really fun style matchup. Like this fight, I don't see a way where it sucks. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then you have Michael Venom Page coming off of a bit of an eye-opening loss against Ian Machado Gary. How does he respond to adversity like that? He has lost twice before in his career, before that fight. One time, he beat a guy by injuring his leg, and the other one, he beat a guy with a flying knee knockout. So he is pretty good at responding to these losses. But he hasn't had to do it in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and he hasn't had to do it against a kid a decade younger than him who has been a knockout artist so far. So for MVP, a win here, it gets him back on track. We get that rocket launched up again, and all of a sudden this guy is heading into some really interesting conversations in the middleweight division. And again, it is a perfect style fight for him to try to get back into championship contention, or at least conversations at middleweight. It's going to be a really, really fun fight and so much fun to watch. It is a spotlight that both guys really deserve, and the winner is going to get, I think, an opportunity that is very fitting of the talents that they have at 185. So I'm saying the word a lot, but it really is, the word of the day is intriguing. A lot of intriguing fights coming out of the UFC and the world of boxing.